Am I live?
Sir?
Am I live?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Mikey, can you put it so I can share something? So I want to...
Already have done, Terry.
Oh, good man. Messages have got through. Brilliant. Okay then. Morning everybody. Thank you for everything so far. It's been brilliant, wonderful. I think the only way to talk about AA is how I got involved, how it's worked for me and how it's helped me through my recovery as a recovering alcoholic. I got referred from my GP to mental health on running heart problems, mental health, and probably like a lot of people got the same sort of answer off mental health. Do we drinking or drugs? Do we drinking first? You know, we can't do your mental health until we do drugs. So I got referred to DHI at the Southmead unit and started a recovery worker and took a long time to remember I was an alcoholic, which is step one for those that are aware of the big book and everything else. Realism life is unmanageable, and it started really within in the groups, the toolbox, the maintaining recovery, and everybody loved us saying go to AA, go to AA, go to AA. And my first reaction is I'm not going to a bunch of God bashing weirdos. Not going near it, not going absolutely anywhere near anybody that preaches God stuff at me. And if it's not about God, it's not about God, higher power, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't go at all. Wouldn't go near it. And probably like a lot of people, I don't know how far everybody's in recovery, that's still in recovery or has been in recovery. There comes a time when your sessions run out with your sort of your groups, DHI or BDP or any of the groups you're doing. It's 6 slots or I think we got 8 slots when we were there. 6 slots. And I needed some other support because I think the big thing I've learned about my recovery is I need lots of support. I'm kicking in just over 3 years sober now, and I still need support. And so I picked up the courage and I popped off to an AA meeting at Southmead Hospital when it was running. Unfortunately, the meeting doesn't run anymore. And I had this great delusion. What is the point as a recovering alcoholic going and mixing with a bunch of bloody alcoholics? That's mad. But then you think about it and think, well, okay, what have I been doing in maintaining recovery and toolbox? Been with other addicts of all sorts. And I went in, and for the first time, I just sat there and thought, I can identify with this. I know where they're coming from. I can really, really relate. You know, get a nice cup of tea, get the biscuit, everything else, listen to the main share. And the main share was very, very different to my past, my history between alcohol and drugs, although my main problem drugs was alcohol. And I thought, yeah, okay, I can relate to this. And I was really quite moved that day and that night. I said, yeah, I can relate to this. And I sort of did a lot. We were still live meetings back then, before we had the COVID stuff. And did a lot of meetings. And I don't know about anybody else here, you know, the experience of sort of looking at AA. And not every meeting sort of quite suits you as a person. I think, you know, you got to find the meeting that works for you. And obviously at the moment with meetings, there's still a lot of Zoom. Meetings are starting to happen in a live scenario. My Now Home group is now live. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put up on the little chat the best way to find AA meetings. And the best way is, AA are not great at their websites. None of them. They're terrible, in all fairness. And this is the ANAG, which is Avon North Intergroup site. And it is the best way. Put that page up and go into daily meetings. And I'll show you what meetings. And that's not, it's a little b, not a capital B. We'll show you where all the daily meetings are, whether they're live, whether they're face-to-face, if they're live, if you need to book. And spent a lot of time looking at meetings, and everybody says, get a home group, get a sponsor, do the steps, get a home group, do the sponsor, and everybody hits with it. And it seems like back. And I was very backless. Go in, have me a cup of tea, sit in the back, toddle off. People offer you phone numbers, sod off. I've done my bit. I've turned up. Hey, I've been there. And time comes, and you sort of, I found a home group, which was South Mid Hospital at the time. There's nobody available to sponsor me there. I found a sponsor in another group and started the steps, which was quite interesting. And I'll add in for those that have the same issue with God that I do, that God doesn't exist. I just looked at my sponsor. So I've got, and you see it all on the board. God this, paid for God that. I've got to do this out of God. He said, okay, hi, God, as you understand him, her. It's your understanding of that concept, the higher power. And I did a lot of searching into that, much myself, my own feelings. Still not the same thing. I don't believe in God, the existence of God in any form. And I'm quite happy, and even was then, to have a more spiritual view to things, that there is a higher power. And my higher power has changed several times, because you change in recovery. You change in recovery as recovery goes on. So I think, that big wall that I built, because that 3-letter word, didn't have a problem. I mean, I've now worked through the steps with a sponsor, and the steps are a wonderful tool in life, in all fairness. I mean, I wish someone would give me the 12 steps just in life. Forget about the aid it's been with my drinking. But the whole concept about looking at yourself, looking at your own issues, that we are alcoholics, so we do have a problem, that life has become unmanageable. Step 1, that we do need help. Step 2, we need help, and then step 3, the horrible thing about you're going to hand it over to God. Okay, God or your higher power, God as you understand him or her, so it can be done. It can be done. Going through the sponsor thing is massive. And I just think in recovery, I mean, it's all very well, off the back of DHI, people like BDP, other support organisations are in Bristol that are brilliant, but they can't give you, I don't think, the on-running support a sponsor can. Very much, the fact of, I mean, I used to phone my sponsor twice a week, and I've phone in weekly. A lot of people phone their sponsors every day, and I know full well, when I'm in a crisis point, which has happened. It's happened. I've had crisis points, and I'm ready to walk in a pub. I can phone my sponsor, and if you can't answer straight away, I'll be back to me ASAP for help, for advice, and support, which is massive. It's absolutely huge to have that backup, Working the 12 steps has been quite, and I haven't involved God. I've used a higher power, spiritual view to it. It's been massive, and the ability to sort of look up and sort of run those 12 steps, not go through them individually. Every day in my life now, I bring that whole philosophy to the way I live, and it's been massive. I mean, it's so much helped me staying off the alcohol, living. And I mean, the easy thing is actually stopping drinking. The difficult thing is living in sobriety, living in real life and staying sober. And I think the steps help with that hugely. I think everybody will find nothing but support, and you hold your hand out and ask for help, you'll find a helping hand there off AA. Whether you do that via a meeting, whether you make an initial phone call, whether you have a look through Zoom meetings, which are still running, which are great, However you look at and hold that hand out, somebody will give you that hand back and offer the help and support back. And I'm a great believer in you have to work the steps your own way. The steps are guidance, the big book is guidance. Everybody's recovery is individual. I think everybody's recovery is individual. So we're all individuals. Our past, our drinking or drug taking was individual. To us, it was very individual. So our recovery has to be very individual. And there is room in AA for that. Find yourself a decent sponsor, someone you can relate to. And it really does help, and it is massively supportive. And it has been for me, still is for me. Absolutely still is for me. Absolutely huge. So I would advise anybody to have a look and to go into the web. I mean, I'm sorry, but their websites are rubbish. But have a look for a meeting. Have a look for a meeting. Have a look Zoom. Turn up to a meeting face to face and just say, "Hi, I need help," and you will get support. That's absolutely huge. And I think, you know, a lot of things is wise words. I had a lot of problems. I mean, one of my other big sober tribes was a Buddhist center, and I'm not a Buddhist. When I was having a conversation with one of the nuns there, who does lots of meditations, but I said, "Oh, it's a real problem with Buddhism. Buddha's not a god, but he has all these gods, right? Not happy, right? You know, it just doesn't work." And it was just someone talking about prayer, and I said, "Well, I won't pray in AA, do the AA prayers, because I don't believe in a God, so therefore I don't pray. So my higher power is not God, therefore I don't pray. I meditate, I do a lot of meditation." She said, "Okay, look at prayers as wise words. Okay, look at prayers as wise words." Okay, so I'm now going to, this is when I show I'm technically inept and can't share what I want to share. I'm going to share something. 3, 2, 1. Go on, please work. That's not share. Is that sharing? That should be sharing. Right, you should be seeing the Serenity Prayer, which probably you've come across before, I should imagine, many of you. Now, if I look at that, if I'm doing a main share, because I have an issue with the God word, I'll say, as you understand him who are a tin of beans, because that's your higher power. And if you want to say it when we do, and we'll have a look at it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, so you can all see it. And I look at that and I say, right, okay, I can take the God word out, it's not a problem. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What can I not change? I cannot change the world, I cannot change everybody else, I can't change the people that put me off. You know, I've got to accept that. The courage to change the things I can. The only things I can change is me. Yeah, that's the only things I can change, me. And the wisdom to know the difference. And that's, to me, where the 12 steps are absolutely massive. And the support and the fellowship of AA, my sponsor, have helped me get this far. And hopefully it'll get me another 3 years and another 3 years and another 3 years, because it's bloody well worth the effort, staying off your drug of choice. And I'm going to tie up there and leave it there, because I think that's about enough. I should stop sharing, hopefully, which I did. And I was going to say any questions. I don't know if that's feasible to put that up, Mikey, or not. No, we can't do that then. But that's my, I mean, you know, AA works. AA works. You know, you have to find your own way through it and work the steps your way with your sponsor. Good luck.